Behind the glamour, what's the most stressful part about putting this together?
I think if you turn the word stressed the opposite side, you get dessert.
So what does the dessert mean?
The dessert means I never take credit for anything. When you're stressed, it's because you want to drive the car. I give all glory to God. And everything I do before I start, I pray and I say, God, you drive the car. Now, if you want to be stressed, you can take the wheel and you will take the wheel.
Yeah.
And when you finally get to a level where you can't handle it no more, that's when you're going to kneel down and call to God. And God's going to ask you a question. Why did you wait this long?
Welcome back to Vubix as we follow Vubix TV and Republic Africa's expansion into Kenya. Today, our CEO and founder, Jordan Kensington, gets to visit Sound City Radio, one of the fourth most biggest radio stations in Kenya. And he sits down with Neville to discuss this year's Republic Africa expansion into Kenya and the National Film and Television Awards coming to Kenya and all of the Republic Africa activities, which includes Republic Fashion Awards, the Kenya Restaurant Award, and much more. He discusses it with Neville. Stay tuned for an amazing, inspiring conversation with our CEO and President of Republic Africa, Jordan Kensington.
Chance you feel so alone. You got me for free. Lean on God. You can lean on God. No matter the distance or the battles. Yeah. Lean on God. Lean on God. Now go, we make us strong. Together we standing, we go never, never fall. Lean on God for everything you want. My God will protect me like it is Psalm 91. Lean on God, you can lean on God. No matter the church or the culture, my God will never let you down. Lean on me, my brother, lean on me. But understand the power that God has given me. Oh, lean on me, my sister, lean on me. When we start to pray, we cast out all the enemies.
That's Republic Africa. That's for you.
Wow.
Yes,
Amazing.
Yes, that was a lead from Gabon Ibrahim. This is going in.
Nice.
Everything we're doing is going in. Yes.
5 minutes past 7 p.m. East African time, and guess what? That new major of Mtoto wa Khadija inaitwa Manifest Major, teaming up with Toxic Lyrically na inaenda sana. Sound City Radio, we are powered by music. You know me, your Vibes Ambassador Neville, with you till late. And if it's Thursday, that's what you call it, but we call it Baby Friday right here. And our playlist is on F, meaning it's on the fuego. So make sure you get interactive with us. 0725 885 Use that hashtag home run. And I am delighted the fact that we have a guest in studio. Yes. And we get to be introduced to something that I'm sure in a few weeks' time, a few months' time, a few hours' time, we are all going to be happy that it was introduced in Kenya. And the fact that I have the privilege to talk to the top of the top guy, and talking to him is going, of course, to leave us with more questions and more excitement. But before we introduce the man of the hour, we'd like to know a few things about him. So, my good friend in studio, I want you to introduce yourself to the people and then tell them what you do, but don't tell them too much. And then we do a bit of ice breaking, and then we'll tell them all those other good things that you do to change the world.
Thank you so much, Neville, for having me on the show. My name is Jordan Kensington. I'm the CEO and President of Republic Africa, and which is a conglomerate of the biggest awards producer in the world. And we do Urban Music Awards, which is the biggest urban music awards, through National Film and Television Awards. World Fashion Awards, and much more. So yes, we are expanding to our 16th country, which is Kenya.
Yes.
And we're extremely excited to be in Kenya. One of the best countries, I would say. I would say so
I
personally.
love that.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I'd like to touch on your experience. Like, is this your first time in Kenya?
It's kind of my first time in like meeting people, etc. The last time I came to Kenya, it's a funny story.
Tell me.
My wife was pregnant of my first son, Jordan Jr. It's 2019, and God said to me, go to Mauritius for 2 weeks. Now I said, all right, I don't know why. It's a bit risky. My wife is pregnant. So we had to go through Kenya in transit, right? So I came out of Kenya just for a few hours, go on a plane to Mauritius. When we landed in Mauritius, the whole world had gone on lockdown. We were the last people to come into Mauritius. So my last thought of Kenya was, oh, you took me out of London. Because imagine having lockdown in London.
Yes.
So that was my last trip to Kenya, and I've always been thinking about that. That was one of the best. And obviously my son was born in Mauritius, and we passed through here.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know he's been here in his mom's womb.
Kenya is Kenyan-ish.
He's Kenyan-ish
Yeah.
on his way to Mauritius. There you go.
I love it. Thank you very much for pulling up. Thank you very much for coming through and making the time.
Yes.
Of course, to speak about this new baby that is coming through in Kenya. But before we get there, let's get to know you a bit. Tell us what are some of the artists or songs that are on your playlist right now that you can put us on to, or something that is on repeat, especially when it comes to music. Talk.
Definitely, you should get the album "Peace, Love, Happiness" by Grimba.
Okay.
There's loads of amazing hits in there. When I'm talking about, if you love your Afro beats, your piano, I'll say definitely go for that. J. Cole's new album is amazing, right? That's something that you should definitely be checking out. In the UK, Tiny Temper is back. Check him out. Tiny Temper is doing a lot of hardcore stuff there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I see you're on to the new. I see you're about the scene. I love that. And when it comes to movies, TV shows, are there anything that you're watching right now? Or maybe you can just give us your top 3 greatest of all time TV shows.
Top 3 greatest of all time. I'm not gonna lie. Number 1 is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Come on, now this is a story all about how my life got flipped turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I tell you how became my Prince of Bel-Air. There you go. So number 1, right? Number 2 is quite old school. It tells my age a little bit. It's a different world, right? It's a different world. Yeah, this was back in the day. This is like early 80s, late 80s. It was like a hectic show.
What else is on that list? What's
Number 3, I'm still going old school on this one. Number 3, this is classic. It's Friends, right? Friends.
Yeah, that one is the
back in the day, they were just too funny. They were just too funny back in the day.
It's one of those ones. I
Yeah.
love it. And since it's kinda ish your first time in Kenya, were there things that you had heard about Kenya you'd love to try? Are there myths, misconceptions? Are there things that you had seen online maybe about Kenya that you're like, oh, okay, is it or isn't it like this? Tell me.
You know what? My thing about when I go to each country is how are the people like, right? And I always say you find out how the people are like from the reception you get in the airport. Have you ever traveled to a country? I'm not going to mention America, but have you ever traveled to a country and when you get to the airport, you're like, when you get out of the airport, you're like, that was a war. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where are you going? What are you doing here? But it was so peaceful. I mean, everybody was so happy. Imagine, I got to say, the Kenyan airport is the best.
It's the best.
When I say best, I'm not the best worldwide. I just came from Tanzania. I've been to loads of even South Africa. No disrespect. I gotta be honest. The Kenyan airport. I mean, you guys were so lovely. All the staff there was so amazing. And that just shows you how the people. And I met the people. We just came out from one of the amazing women who's doing amazing things here. The charity work, the amount of charitable things that are happening in Kenya, it's just amazing to tell. And the talent, there's a lot of talent here. Television, radio, producers, DJs, much more. And we're here to highlight all of those.
I like that. So we'll be talking to man in studio right here about more. Let's talk about film. Let's talk about TV. You know, in the past, we've had lots of guests, your favorite actors and actresses right here on the show, and they've come through and we've talked about TV, we've talked about stage. So right now it's good when we are talking about international kind of thing, coming home and giving us that feel that we need. Playing you a few tunes that you love, to get you K Kidogo. I'll have to do the upper 254, and then we'll be talking everything NFTA.
Sick of the other stations?
I will always
Your
win.
medicine is here.
Will always win.
We're bringing a water engine.
I was about to ask you, you've talked about it being a global kind of thing, but right now it's the Kenya time.
Yes.
You know, it's our time to shine. Talk to me
Yes.
first about that choice, about bringing it to Kenya. There are some aspects that you saw. Are there some things that were presented to you? Why did you pick Kenya? And tell us more about this Kenyan adventure.
The Kenya economy in the next 5 years will be one of the leading economies in Africa, not just in content creation in Africa, full stop. Kenya, we were talking about this in the car, was one of the innovators in fintech with M-Pesa. They just did not get the recognition they should have got, because all the banks in the world now are doing what Kenya did years ago with fintech. M-Pesa was one of the leaders in tech. Now, you know, all the sending money and all that sort of stuff, it sounds like, for you guys, it's like, oh, this is nonsense. But because we do this, it's a normal thing. There are countries around the world that are still getting their heads around that. You'll be so surprised. I'm talking about big countries around the world. So I feel like in television, in film, in content creation, in all of that, I think Kenya is also going to be leading. And so we looked at this as, you know, we expanded first into Ethiopia, expanded to Mauritius, and I'm talking about the African countries we expanded to, and then South Africa. And you've seen how South Africa has grown, you know, from the Tylers to the Trevor Noahs to, and now Kenya. We feel the same growth that you've seen happen. You just played a song by Iyani now. I just told you my reaction. I'm like, this is incredible. I thought this was, I mean, we have the Caribbean Urban Musicals in Jamaica with Beanie Man and Sean Paul. We have the offices there. And if I played this to them, they would think this is their cousin. Yeah. So that's talent. You can't tell the difference. So now you need the amplification of that to audiences worldwide. I was speaking to George on, you know, one of our producers, the cameras in the car, and I said to him, do you remember back in the day when people were into karate and Chinese films? And you remember when you were into Indian films? Well, that's because it was amplified to Africa. So why don't we amplify stories to them, to everybody as well, and become the karate and kung fu and Bollywood films and television and talent across the world? And Kenya can do it. So we are going to be now accepting nominations from next week Friday. People from all across Kenya and diaspora all across the world can nominate their favorite talent in Kenya in all 25 categories. So from the best actor, best actress, best content creator, best producer, best TV show, best radio show, best newcomer, best podcast, all of that, personality and all of that. So you could start nominating from next Friday. All the details will be online for the National Film Academy website and social medias and all that sort of stuff. And then after the nominations are put together, voting will start leading up to the award ceremony in June.
That is exciting, because if just being nominated, especially for the National Film and Television Awards, is big, because the main difference I'm hearing here is we have the power to vote who we want to see be nominated, because even when you were talking about viral videos, it has to capture everyone. You know, I have my one view contributes to the million views, and I'm sure that's the same kind of structure with seeing my vote, being able to nominate someone I would love, especially from the 254, to get that global kind of look and feel. And that's such an amazing kind of platform. I can't wait to see who is going to be nominated. I can't wait to see the process, because the build up also is going to be amazing, just seeing everybody being voted for. Because to me personally, there are myths and conceptions I feel about award shows, and I want you to kind of debunk them for me, because sometimes sometimes I feel like once I get nominated, am I like a politician? I have to go and be like, yo, vote for me, campaign. Is that the kind of thing? Or they're like,
you see, I always tell artists, actors, actresses, producers, radio presenters, talent, that think of yourself as a brand. Now, when you launch a brand, you have to go out there and say, look, you know what? My Nokia is better than this Apple. And you have to go out there and people have to vote by putting your hands in your pocket and spending it on your Apple. If you don't learn how to market yourself, you are never going to be able to go global. You might be big in your community. Look, I could be big in my house. My cousin, my brother, and my sister, they love my music. They love my shows to bits. They find me hilarious. But it doesn't mean I'm going to Trevor Noah. I have to campaign. I have to come up with creative ways to make people support me. And what I think is people have a lot of ego that they don't want to say, hey, you know what? This is what I'm doing. And I think the best thing you can do as someone who is a brand is differentiate yourself from you and your brand. So if it's your brand, I don't feel no shame to promote my brand. And I want you to vote for my brand. You know why I want you to vote for my brand? The more successful I am globally, the more successful I am able to open opportunities for more people. So yes, like a politician campaigns for your vote, the difference between that is that they are campaigning to change the country's life. And the difference between you is you're campaigning to elevate your country's status and change the economy. And most times, I'm not trying to get political here, you're going to find the entrepreneurs, the actors, the actresses, the storytellers are the ones that change a country's economy. If you look at America and you look at really what America has exported, is the basketball, is the film, is the music, is the tech, is everything else. Now, if you look at the political, you will think that's not what we're going to talk about. So, and now you can give that example in every single country you go to. It's so important. Sometimes we turn a blind eye on. Don't be afraid to nominate and put yourself out there and vote and get people to vote for you. Because if you don't ask people to call CTA, call to action, they're not going to do it.
And it's going to sit back and be like, okay.
There you go. He's too cool for school.
Let's just leave him be.
There you go.
I totally get it. Thank you very much for telling us about this. Let me ask you two questions that are being asked here online. Someone is asking, would a TikTok creator ever win a NAFTA award in the future?
Actually, we have categories just for content creators on TikTok, Instagram, and all social media platforms. The reason is we've had to grow with the times. I used to say this when we expanded into South Africa. They said, why don't we promote the terrestrial channels we broadcast? I say, because nobody watches those channels 24/7. Everybody's online. And you know, the real VPs, the real people out there are the ones doing content online, right? Because they understand the other people that want to watch this content, and people want to watch content made by people like you. So yes, TikTok creators, Instagram creators, Facebook creators are open, and there are categories. There's literally 5 categories that cover content creators, and it's very important. The content creator economy market is extremely important for the economy.
What does the creator economy mean for Africa? It means young people can build businesses online.
It means Africa's stories are finally being told by Africans.
It means Nairobi is becoming the center of digital creativity. That's why the Republic Africa Creator Economy Summit and Awards is bringing creators together in Nairobi.
So that can never be left out. Yeah.
And let me ask you this, also one question here being asked, what's your favorite category in the award ceremony?
My favorite category is a new one we've actually launched, which is called Everyday Heroes. And actually, Everyday Heroes is you nominate. This happens throughout the year in different countries. You nominate someone who you feel has impacted a community. It could be a doctor. It could be a lawyer. It could be an auntie that works in your supermarket that the team nominate because she's so amazing. The first ever Everyday Hero was actually given today to Mama Alice. And Mama Alice runs an amazing charity that children should be loved by mums. We just went to the charity and saw how amazing she's done, all throughout the years, running an orphanage where she's helping loads of children. We surprised her with the award. And that's my favorite category because you're making a difference. A lot of people say, you know what, if you help people, you need to help it in quietness. And I say, yes, I agree with that. Don't be boastful when you help, but we need to be able to see people are doing kindness in the world. Because if you're just seeing wars and negative things, there is no balance. I want to see people doing good, right? I want to see those people doing good, and it will inspire me to do good. So we spending time with her today has inspired all of us.
Yes.
Well, before we came here, it's inspired all of us that, you know what, we can do better. That homeless person, that person that's out there, we can do. So everyday heroes is your everyday people, and that category I want people to be nominating all year round for people that you feel in your community are doing amazing stuff that need to be recognized.
Yes, and I'm sure as you're hearing this, many names pop up in your mind of people who are helping your community in many different ways. It doesn't have to be financial. It could be just with making the community work easier, with an initiative, with a plan. You know, things just making things go around. Two more questions here from our online. Jessica says, what's one myth people have about award shows that is completely false?
One myth people have about award shows that is completely false. You know, I can only speak for myself. For our organization, is a 29-year-old organization. When it comes to award ceremonies, most of the things that people are practicing, like, for example, people's choice votes and abolishing the judging panel, came from us. All of that payroll our business, we've never, as a company, ever done that in any other award ceremony. There's been a myth in several other establishments in the past where actors or actresses or musicians have felt like they were denied a category, or they were denied a win of the category. Or they were snubbed of the category. And that's the reason why we open it for the public. And we're like, you see the votes. You go out there, you actually monitor the voting. You can go out there, you can log on and see what's happening. So in real time, and you're seeing the people vote. We also create a community forum where they're talking to each other whilst they do. You're seeing the people live and direct. So that transparency says it all, because I feel like when people put their hard work and sweat, they take it personal. You have to also take that seriously and make sure the establishment is transparent and credible.
I like that. Last one here before we go back into the music. Alan says from Eldoret is like, love hearing this conversation, but behind the glamour, what's the most stressful part about putting this together?
You know, I think if you turn the word stressed on the opposite side, you get dessert. So
what does the dessert mean?
The dessert means I never take credit for anything. When you're stressed, it's because you want to drive the car. I give all glory to God. And everything I do before I start, I pray and I say, God, you drive the car. Now, if you want to be stressed, you can take the wheel, and you will take the wheel. And when you finally get to a level where you can't handle it no more, that's when you're going to kneel down and call to God. And God's going to ask you a question: why did you wait this long? So a lot of times we stress ourselves by wanting to take the world. You cannot take on the world. You have to use the Most High. You have to use the Heavenly Father. And I always say, when people ask me, you know, especially in the UK, as a black person who's been successful, people ask me, but you know, you must have a CEO who's white or something like that. And I always say to them, no, I have a CEO. He's not white, but he's in heaven. He's God. My CEO is the Heavenly Father. So anytime I need to advise anything, I go to God, and that's how, you know, the stress gets out of the window. I like that. That's the best way possible. We do really appreciate you. Thank you for bringing this good vibe, for telling us everything about the National Film and Television Awards coming to Kenya next week. We can start the nominations tonight. I hear there's a little bit of a shindig happening at Black Samurai. Yes. I have never been to Black Samurai. You're gonna love it. But when I heard Black Samurai, I knew it was a samurai. It was a samurai. So yes, we're doing a partnership launch there. We're going to be there. Yes, we're looking forward to hearing the music, seeing the people. And if you're around, come to Black Samurai tonight. And it should be an amazing show, amazing event, and celebrating everything we've achieved together today. And it should be very exciting. Thank you very much, my bro, for coming through. And I can't wait to see everything that unfolds after this, and all the amazing things that you plan on, doing in Kenya, and putting on for the scene, because I'm sure it's going to be an amazing kind of time. No, thank you so much, Neville, and welcome to the Republic Africa family.
Also, you're welcome to the Sound City family.
I'm loving it.
Anytime you have anything you want to do, you know where to be.
Definitely. And you're going to see this on the next issue of Republic Africa. All of this. Neville featuring. Okay.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Can't
God
wait
bless you.
To interact more and
Thank
make
you.
sure, is there any, just tell guys where they could follow, where they could
Yes.
this whole process. So as they're out there, as they've heard this message, they can at least go on over every social media.
Yes, 100%. Yes, for me, it's Instagram.com/@Jordan Kensington. Jordan like Michael Jordan, Kensington as Kensington. And for the National Film and Television Awards, is @National Film and TV Awards. @National Film and TV Awards. And Republic Africa, you can go to republicafrica.co.co. So you'll be able to find out everything about us there.
People think being a creator is just social media.
But it's actually an entire economy.
And Nairobi is becoming the center of it.
That's why the Republic Africa Creator Economy Summit and Awards is happening. And if you want to partner with the movement, contact clients at republicafrica.co.za.